So recently, Pat McGrath had a really good sale on their website, and I picked up quite a few things. I think before then, the only two items I had ever owned, well, a couple things. I owned like a tinted lip balm lipstick situation, this lip balm, this palette, and I had owned their mascara before, and that's it. So I didn't really have like a ton of experience with Pat McGrath, and they are known for their eyeshadows and their special shades. I still haven't tried that, and I'm super curious about it. But on the website, they had a couple of bundles, and they also had some discounts going on where I was able to get a ton of products for a pretty affordable price considering that it's Pat McGrath. I was able to get a primer, a foundation, a concealer, under eye powder, a face powder, a blush, and this highlight. I think that's everything that I got. And they also sent, once you spent so much money, they sent a free blush in addition to everything else. So I'm gonna try all of those out today. Obviously, I did. This is the result. And if you guys are interested in what I think of the products, go ahead and keep watching. All right, so I've already prepped my skin, and I did actually use the Pat McGrath lip balm it's their Lip Fetish lip balm. I did already use that a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply some more. And then we're gonna jump into these products. So most of these are new to me. The only thing that I am actually familiar with is the mascara, and I think I've mentioned it in previous videos, probably a couple of years ago, how much I loved the mascara. Maybe I didn't, but I really liked it, and I used it up, and then I bought it, and then I put it in my backup drawer because I had other mascaras open. So we're gonna use it in this video, and I'm excited to actually get it back. I'm like looking for a little notch on the packaging to open it, and I don't see one. So I'm just gonna cut it open, in which I don't believe this one does, but a lot of the packaging that comes like in these pouches is like filled with like sequins, which I find to be a little bit annoying. But anyway, here's the mascara. I'm not even to this point in the video yet, but again, that's the only product that I was already pretty familiar with. And then a couple of years, well, not even a couple years ago, about a year ago, I think I got this last year during their Black Friday sale. And you'll see how much I've like hardly used it at all since then. I got this eyeshadow palette, and I've used it maybe a couple of times, and so we're gonna use it today. This is the only Pat McGrath shadow that I have. I know that she has like all of these gorgeous special shades. I don't have any of that. So anyway, she had a sale going on, and I just got all the stuff in the mail yesterday, and I was gonna just sit down and, you know, try it out, and then I'm like, I might as well just go ahead and film the video now, because I had a video planned for a couple weeks from now for a full face of Pat McGrath. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now. This still may go up in a couple of weeks, or it might go up sooner than that, I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter to you guys, does it? So this is very watery, and this is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. You know what, actually, there's a primer. All right, so let's backtrack a minute and let's open up this primer and try it out. So I was on their website, and they had a pretty good deal where you get the foundation, the primer, and I think there was like a, is it not over here? So this is a setting powder. Oh yeah, here it is. It's this. It is their under eye powder. Or did the concealer go with that? I don't know. There was like, I got a couple of bundles of items on the website, and they were a pretty good deal. And then also you got like a free blush as well, which let me check, because recently I got this blush, Nude Venus 2. Okay, it's not the same one. They had like a collection, and I don't even remember what the collection was for. But I got the highlighter in this blush, and then this is the blush that they gave me for free with my order, which was super cool. Okay, yeah, so they're definitely not the same. I haven't put anything on my face yet. And I'm not used to filming. I'm kind of out of habit. So like these videos, until I kind of get into the swing of things, are going to be all over the place. All right, so this is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer. And while the packaging is gold and it's like all luxury and stuff, the paper is kind of coming off the back, and this is just like cheap plastic packaging. Honestly, it doesn't matter as long as the packaging lasts as long as the product. That's kind of my main gripe with drugstore products. When they give you a ton of product in super cheap packaging, you have to throw it out before you can use it all anyway. So let's pump some of this. There we go. Okay, and it was acting like it was already out after the first pump. So I'm gonna put some of this on. And I didn't even like read about it or know what kind of primer it is. So I don't know if it's mattifying, what the claims are. I have no idea. I'm not a primer person. I'm more of like a skincare prep person as my primer. This feels like a lotion with a hint of like a slip to it. So we'll see. Okay, so there's that one now. So let's jump into the foundation, which is watery. So I'm gonna pump it out, and I hope the shade, I hope the shade is okay, because I, again, obviously ordered it online. And let me find, I'm gonna use this brush to kind of work it in. I really like thin formulas because they look like skin, and I think that's the whole thought behind this. I've got some crazy breakouts right here. They switched up my hormones and my medicine, and I hadn't had like breakouts in like a super long time, and then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks ago, over the last month, I've been having like these awful like under the skin breakouts. I'm gonna get a little bit more and kind of focus it in the areas I want to cover. I was looking to see if this smelled like alcohol, but I'm not getting a strong alcohol scent, so that's good. I tend to be on the drier side. I think that looks pretty good. I think the tone might be slightly off for me. I think it goes a little bit pale and a little bit yellow, but I would prefer it do that over pink or orange. And a lot of the times, because I am a light olive complected person, almost every foundation I have to adjust anyway to make it work. I only have a handful of foundations that actually look right on my skin. Most foundation companies do not make a light or a pale olive. They don't start olive until they get into the medium tones. I do have a concealer, so I'm gonna stop applying this and I'll put the concealer where it needs to go. I'm gonna zoom in some. There we go. I don't have a bronzer. I don't even know if Pat McGrath makes a bronzer. And since this does go a little pale on me, I think I am gonna go in with like a subtle cream bronzer just to add a little bit of color back into my face. And I'm gonna pop in with this Chanel. And a lot of people don't like this one. This is the original shade. And a lot of people say it goes very kind of orange on them. But I like it because it actually adds the color that I need. Like it doesn't look crazy on my skin tone. It just gives me a little bit of life to my skin. I think that's good for now. I may go back in with like a regular bronzer after, but I think this is good enough to kind of get started. And maybe I need to turn down that ring light. Okay, so I think that might be better to where you can actually see the products on my face and how they're behaving. I did just notice though when I went back in with this, I looked up in the monitor and it looked like I was rubbing away the foundation. So also, what's funny, I just got a text from my husband, and I'll pop it here on the screen if you're local. My husband loves this little bookstore on our main street here in Wadsworth. And he just sent me a text and he was like, can you put this on your social media? They're struggling, only 1 to 2 customers a day, which kind of makes me sad. Because they literally, like during the summer, they put out little carts of books for free. Their books are very inexpensive, and it's kind of like a book, it's like a secondhand. They do have some new stuff, but it's kind of like a book exchange, like a consignment. You can take your books in, you can get new books. And it kind of makes me sad that they're struggling. So anyway, I'll put it here on the screen, and then I'll probably pop something on my social media and see if anybody is interested in going, but it kind of makes me sad. That's like his favorite place in town to go to. All right, anyway, this video is a mess. So I am gonna go ahead and hop in with this concealer. And by the way, I got the shade L5 in the foundation and the concealer, I believe. Didn't I? Yes, light 5. In case you're wondering which shade I got. Okay, and then here is what the concealer looks like, and I hope you guys are enjoying my one naked nail. Here we go. And let's just go ahead. I don't have any corrector on. Typically I do a corrector under the eyes before I put concealer on, just because. And then I don't know how this concealer behaves, so I probably should have tried like a test spot on my face before I started putting it all over. I'm just going to use my fingers, kind of work it around the nose. It's not too bad. Okay, it's blending pretty well. This concealer is kind of behaving though like something that I think the concealer may work better with a sponge, but then the foundation was so thin that it made me like feel like it would actually work better with like one of these like little kind of dainty brushes. So I kind of find that to be interesting, which again, I'm not using this with the sponge. It's working fine with the finger. And then I think I might put a little bit here too. Let's just get some there on the chin. And I also get a little bit of redness around this part of my cheek. And I'm gonna just grab the same brush that I used for foundation. Yeah, it works better with the brush than the finger. I always worry about though using a brush and stuff around the eyes, just because I feel like it's gonna wipe it away. I feel like that's kind of a better area, I guess, to like stamp it in. But I think actually a brush is fine with this one. I still feel like I need a corrector though, because you can still see the blue in there, but I'm not gonna keep adding product because it's just gonna build up. And I'm also like working with like purples, so it might just look like part of the eye look once I'm done anyway. Okay, so let's hop in then and use the Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. So maybe this will set it and then also kind of fix the areas that I think didn't get enough on the under eyes. Like, here's the thing, I hate being wasteful, so I'm already thinking about like, who could use these sequins? I might give them to a person I work with who does arts and crafts classes. Like I think that maybe they might be able to use them. I don't know, kids might like to glue them to stuff. All right, here is the powder. It just looks like a white powder. All right, so I'm gonna hop in here. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but like it was kicking up a little bit. And I don't really know how much, so I'm trying to like saturate the brush, and we're just gonna put it under the eye. Do you think that looks brighter? Maybe I'll put some on the eye too to kind of set the foundation I put on there and kind of use as my base. Actually, I'm not minding this a whole lot. Let me pat that out a little bit more before I set it. I don't know that this is doing a whole lot as far as like how much it sets the makeup, but I will say that I think that the under eye area looks better. Okay, and then I actually also got a face powder. So I'm gonna put that on the rest of my face, and then we're gonna go in with the blush and the highlight and all of that good stuff. Okay, so here is the face powder that I got, and I got the shade Light 1. So I'm not sure if that was if they have a light 5, if I made a mistake, or if light is 1 and then they have like a medium dark. But that must be it, because I can't imagine me doing that otherwise. All right, I'm just gonna go in with this brush, which I believe is actually supposed to be like, it's a spotlight duster, but I'm gonna use this as my powder brush. And I'm first actually gonna get some powder on my hand and work it in. Okay, it goes actually pretty translucent, so that's promising. So I'm gonna get some and then just kind of powder all over. I wonder if this is like this would be better as a powder puff situation. Let's see, I feel like I have one. Yes, do you guys remember these Tati Beauty things? I don't want to get into the whole thing, but like definitely not a good buy. But anyway, I'm going to use it for powder today. Oh, the mailman's here. Hopefully he brought me something fun. And like you can still definitely see that. I'll probably go in with another concealer that I usually use for spots to cover that up here in a minute. So let me look. I turned down the light so you guys can see better, but then like I'm old and I have a hard time seeing. This on my face is not, I'm not looking fresh and dewy. I'm definitely like blanked out. Let me put that. And some of you may be like, well, you're using it wrong. Well, I don't know how to use it. I did look to see how to use it, but also that's why my channel is Average Autumn. A lot of the times I like to do videos to where I go in blind and I use products and just see what I think about them, because I feel like a lot of the time that is what the average consumer is doing as well. So, and I consider myself the average consumer. I'm not being sent a ton of product. Every now and then a company will reach out and send me like 1 or 2 products, but I'm definitely not getting sent like their entire line or doing sponsored videos or anything like that. I'm gonna jump off camera really quickly, do my eyebrows, and then come back. Okay, so I think that this is as good as my brows are gonna get. I also think that maybe they look a little bit stark because I have nothing else on my face. So let's jump in with some eyeshadow. So I haven't used this palette a whole lot because, as many of you know, I am a barely there kind of eyeshadow gal, very neutral. I don't like anything that goes like too smoky or too colorful, just because I feel like it ages me. And it also draws attention to the fact that my eyes are uneven. So, which I guess I'm gonna draw attention to it now. You probably see that one of my eyes is up higher than the other. And then also this one has, I think, I'm trying to look straight forward. I think it's, yeah, this one has slightly more lid space than this one. This one is a little bit more hooded. I know it's not fully hooded, but I also think that my hooding isn't because I have hooded eyes. I think it's due to aging. And this side is kind of dragged down a little bit more, probably because I sleep on that side sometimes. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump in and use this shade first. And I have been wanting to try one of the Pat McGrath palettes with like special shades, but for that price, I want to be able to use all of the shadows and be interested in those colors. And I wish that they made, if I could like create my own, that would be great, because I wish that they made one that had kind of like ethereal, barely there sorts of shades that might just like lean one way. I've been looking everywhere for like a shade that's like a beigey skin tone with a slight blue shift to it. I would love that. Haven't been able to find a shade like that. Let's see. It's like a whole lot of nothing. I'm actually gonna put, why do I keep going this way? This one right here in the outer corner here. Actually onto the lid into the outer corner. All right, and then I want to go in and use the more bronzy shade below it to kind of warm the look up a little bit, because it is going quite cool. And just kind of dust that over on the crease in there. And let me find like a detailer brush to take some shadow below. And I think I'm gonna go in, yes, with this one and kind of just run it below. And I want to use this kind of like deep burgundy shade to line the eye, just kind of work it into the lash line for some definition. And here's the thing, I don't even know if this eyeshadow palette is still available. If it is, I will have it linked. But if it isn't, I will link below the palette that I guess would choose had I not chosen this one. But at the time when I bought this one, it was the only one that looked relatively neutral to me. I know that they have quads now that look a little bit more neutral. So if I buy more shadows from Pat McGrath, I think I'll definitely go for one of those quads. And I think I'm ready to try the mascara again now, which not really try, I've used it before. Some mascaras, I feel like with the sort of like plasticky brushes, I feel like I don't have to curl my lashes with those because those brushes are a little bit more stiff and they push the lashes where they need to go. But if I remember correctly, this is like a bristle brush and it works better when the lashes are curled. Not exactly how I remembered it. For whatever reason, actually though, I think I did have a tube that had like a faulty top to where the brush just got so overloaded each time. This is actually, the brush is getting cleaned off pretty well, but I still like the mascara, but I think it's a little bit easier to apply than the initial tube that I had. And I do want to point out, and I don't know if it's the concealer or the foundation, but that's already going on there. I try to blend that or work it away with my finger. All right, let's go in for a second coat of the mascara. And now that I'm like working it in here a little bit, it's starting to get more on the brush like I remember. I think maybe I just had to go in a couple times with it. Yep, that's what I remember from the lashes before. It really just builds your lashes up. All right, so I have the mascara on and I feel like my face is looking a little bit unalive. So I'm gonna jump in with this Chanel powder. It's the Le Beige's Sunshine Light. It's the oversized Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed powder. I'm gonna jump in with this and just warm up my face a little bit. I'm gonna use this Laura Mercier bronzer brush. I'm also gonna like run whatever's left on the brush down my neck and actually over my ears too. I feel like people always forget their ears. Okay, so let's do the blush and highlighter. I have two blush options. This first one is the one that I got as a gift with purchase from them, and I don't even know, is the shade on the box maybe? I don't see the shade on the actual container. So this is Aphrodite Amore, and it has like two different shades. Actually, my fingers are disgusting. Hold please. Okay, so anyway, let's jump in and get a couple of swatches of this. So one's a little bit more coral and then the other is like a mauve pink, but honestly you can't tell a huge difference between them when swatched on the hand. So that's that one, and then this one is it not on the thing? Nude Venus 2. Was this one on there too? And yeah, it was on there. Now I know where to look. Okay, this is Nude Venus 2. I really like nude blushes, and I also, this one seems to have more of like a sheen to it, whereas the other two kind of seem a little matte. So then this is the Nude Venus 2. So I think, I mean, I could do either with this eye look, but I think I'm gonna pop in with the Nude Venus 2 because I think it would just look best with what I have going on here. I might have just gone overboard with the blush. And I'm gonna kind of go under the cheekbone and almost like contour with the blush too. Go over the nose. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty blushed here. And let's go into the highlight now. So this is Venusian. I thought it might be like Venetian, but it's not Venusian nude. I don't know, but here it is. She looks pretty. I feel like a fluffier highlight brush would work for this because this looks like super, let me swatch it. Yeah, that looks very highlighty, and here we go. Instead of doing fluffy, we'll do like a spotlight situation. I guess what more detailed. Here we go. So this has glitter in it. So I can see, I don't know if you can see the glitters. Perfect. I am getting a package delivered and my husband's just hanging out outside. He always gives me shit when I get a package. Okay. So yeah, you can kind of see the glitters. That's not really my thing. Again, because I'm aging and I just like everything to look smooth and glowy. But since this is new, sometimes the glitters aren't throughout and they're just on top. But actually, as I'm working this in, I think that they're inside of it. So I'm gonna go into here and up here too. So from a distance, these might look just nice and glowy, but like definitely, yeah, that's glitter. So not loving that. It's kind of the same situation where I love a wet look eyelid. but I don't like glitter. And I get so annoyed when people like do these videos about wet look eyelids. And it's only wet look if you have bad vision and it's blurred. Like if you're looking at it, it's glitter. And I've only been able to find like one eyeshadow ever that's like a powder eyeshadow that gives the wet look without glitter. All the other ones I've tried and I purchased are glitter. But anyway, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Let's spray my face to kind of set everything, because I'm looking around the nose area and I've rubbed here, and so I'm a little bit annoyed with myself, but like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back in with what's left on that powder puff and see, what did I do with that powder puff? Here it is. I'm gonna go with what's left on the powder puff and just kind of like try to see if that makes it look better. But she looks like super, yeah, I don't think that the powder puff is going to help it. I think I would need to go back in with a little bit of concealer, which I will do, and just like a tiny, tiny dot, like not a lot of it. So I'll just go that much, a tiny, tiny amount. I think that's a little bit better. I'm still like kind of dry around the nose area, which this is pretty common for me in foundations that are not meant to be super moisturizing, because like even there, over, even on this side, it's a bit blotchy. So I'm gonna like, I'm not giving you a final verdict on this now, but I'm definitely going to exfoliate my nose and then use these products, maybe not all together, but individually. And then I'll come back at some point and give you guys like reviews or like updates on the products. But like the foundation and everything, my face doesn't look youthful and glowy in the like areas with the foundation and the powder. It doesn't look bad, but except for on the nose. But the rest of the face looks okay. I didn't go in and like cover up these two spots anyway, because I think I'm going to do another makeup video after this anyway. But anyway, let's spray. I've said like anyway like 10 times like in a row. Let's do some spray here. And let's put a lip on. So I used to have a couple Pat McGrath lipsticks, but I'm not a lipstick person and my daughter is, so I believe I've given them to her. The only thing I have left is this lip balm. So I'm gonna put that on. And then I'm gonna go in with like, maybe like a lip liner or something to kind of just give kind of, I guess, a nude look, because I feel like this lip would look better with a nude look anyway. Let's just do the Charlotte Tilbury and Pillow Talk. And this is the completed look. I don't want to go through each individual item and tell you like what's good and what's not, because I used everything together for the first time. So usually I don't like to do first impression videos for that reason. And like when you use everything together for the first time, it might be meant for drier skin types, which, not drier skin types, oilier skin types. Well, I'm a drier person, so if it looks a little bit bad on me, it doesn't mean it will look bad on you. Also, I'm using everything together. So say I use this foundation and it's meant for more oily skin. And same with the primer. I'm not usually a primer person either, and I used it. So maybe I would try it without the primer. I would try applying this foundation multiple different ways. I would try different powders and their powder to kind of let you know what it works best with. I feel like you get better reviews that way when somebody has actually tried it multiple ways, and I haven't, so I cannot give reviews on that. Now, looking at this though, would I be embarrassed to go out in public looking like this? No, I would leave the house looking like this. I think it looks nice, but it's just not to the standard of what I usually prefer, if that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely think it looks nice. The one thing I will say is the highlighter is the only thing that I know for sure that may not be my cup of tea, just because it is so glittery. And so I'm hoping that it's kind of like an over spray thing, but I don't think it is because I just kind of went into it a little bit more here. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty glittery. But also though, speaking of like wet look eyes, maybe not on my face, but this might be something I can use on my eye as like a topper or something like that on another shadow. So again, I'm definitely going to play with all this stuff and give you guys updates, but I figured I would just go ahead and film this not so quick video, just trying everything out and giving you my first impressions. So if you have tried these products and you really like them or you really dislike them, let everybody know in the comments what you like and what you don't like about them, what you use with them, how you make them work, all of that good stuff. Because at the end of the day, this stuff is pretty expensive and you might have a first impression of something that doesn't work so well, and then you start using them with other products, and then it kind of becomes a favorite because the overall makeup look is really great. So go ahead and share with everybody else in the comment section if you have that experience with any of these products, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Cross my name off the list. This is without